哇哦，我们又是一个班呀！
How to become internet famous in China. Filter enlarged, face small. Who is this? I don't know. 16 other girls look just like it. You can't tell them apart. Some Chinese internet users say that they have the prettiest forgettable face because they're literally cut out from the same mold. Now, China has a beauty standard problem. I say this because I've come across so many articles out of China itself talking about this exact face. And one specific look that keeps showing up again and again, whether it's built with makeup or built on an operating table, there is a name for this. It's called Wang Honglian, or the internet famous face, because that's literally the term like this is the standardized face that you see on Chinese internet. It's very prominent in female live streams, vertical dance live streams, even across different platforms and media, like short drama on Douyin, or faux TV dramas or movies, or even in video games and 3D animation. Hold on a second. Okay, imagine if I wasn't already this handsome. Wow, I've already gained 200,000 followers in the time I just spoke to you. Maybe I should give up on YouTube and go live on Douyin instead. And that's really it. That's the whole engine behind this look. It's a winning formula, and it stays a winning formula because you've got 20,000 different live streamers and influencers already running this exact same play. Chinese society tends to now get very oversaturated on absolutely anything that it believes at the moment is going to make money. And faces turn out to be no exception. Along with other things like semiconductors or everybody flocking to run AI companies. You know, the entire Chinese society is a big startup environment for the positive side of it. Now, tell me in the comments if you dig this look, because apparently a lot of people are. You got eyes pulled wider, you got noses narrowed down, jaws sharpened to a point where you can slice open bread or paper or fruits. And it's like you get this also distinct puffiness under the eyes that somehow considers the look to be on the youthful side, and you got foreheads that look almost inflated like a balloon, skin so smooth you kind of feel like you're looking into a mirror. Now, short video and vertical videos really accelerated this. A standardized face is like going to attract you instantly, right? And it's not really about uniqueness, because if you're only spending 3 seconds on it, maybe it's the shock value, I don't know, but you are watching it now. And that's really the algorithm's favorite thing, right? To get you to watch. And for women with this look, the entire goal is to look perfect from the 2D beauty perspective, like you're doing just the frontal shot. There's no side profile, there's no unflattering angles, it's just straight on. So it's a look for the camera, right? It's very commercialized. This look is so prevalent in Chinese 3D animated shows. 9 out of 10 times, they have the female characters designed and painted and drawn this way. Can you tell these are from different shows? And guys have their own version of this too, right? Though it leans a little bit differently, more of a standardized idol look rather than the template that the women are chasing. For example, a mobile game called Love in Deep Space, it's literally developed for female players, romance simulator. You pick your favorite virtual boyfriend and you go on dates with them. And the entire lineup so far, every single one of them look like they got carved out of the same mold too. Like you got this sharp, narrow jaw, you got the huge symmetrical eyes, skin with zero texture and slightly animated, but mostly it feels like this person is a robot. These are drawn characters. Like, you don't need a surgery or plastic surgeon to consult for this one. You just simply need to show that this is what the masses appreciates. Now, let me set the stage for this, right? This girl films a date.
我现在这个收入嘛，就是在字节那边，大概每个月到手工资呢7万左右，8万不到的。
税后吗？
对啊，就到手就那么多。
哦，那你工资很高哎，你这个收入蛮厉害了已经。
我确定啊，肯定。
非常肯定。
100%
一个月7、8
肯定。
个到手。
对。
那我们看一下个税，好吧？因为我觉得我们第一次出来见面嘛，你资料上面也说你比较着急要结婚，那我觉得收入这个东西我得验证一下，免得以后有不必要的一些猜疑，对吧？我可以先给你看。
什么个税？个税什么？你这个要求我觉得很无理啊！这个是我的隐私啊！你看这个不是侵犯我隐私了吗？
She then asks to see his tax app on the spot. He refuses, claiming it's private info. That's the whole dating scene in one clip. It's not, does this man make me laugh, or do we get along, but it's an income audit. Clearly, the girl wants no crap and no wasting of her time on guys who are lying, and she knows her value and what her looks can bring her. It is very primal in a sense. Girls bring the look, boys bring the money and the car, and in most cases, people can get this by going through plastic surgery. Sometimes in China, these clinics, they advertise the procedures the same casual way a dealership might advertise an oil change. It's just like routine maintenance on the way to becoming a slightly different person. I actually think serving face card is a universal thing. China just takes it to the extreme, and they saturated to the point where it kind of becomes twisted. But again, the society is very literal in China, and there's no time for any sort of a slowdown moment. And matchmaking or even just online live streaming, everything is like at that moment, whether you like it or not. So that's what makes this whole thing so fast-paced and so weird. It's because it almost feels like every step of the way you're faced with a transaction. Now, surgery is obviously one thing, right? You also got the filters. Oh my God, we've seen the filters. Every single app has them now. The beauty apps, the dating apps, the live stream platforms, the short video platforms. Half of the country, before they even get out of bed, is blasted with this filtered face. And then you think that, doesn't that develop some sort of a face dysmorphia of some sort? Like, do you not feel this is not real? And people start obviously feel this way, and what can you do? You're so used to it. You're so used to the edited version of your own face. What's underneath the real one, it doesn't really matter because it's starting to look wrong in comparison. And I've even seen like Chinese women writing on forums about they don't recognize their face anymore without a filter running. And so they're like, describing actual panic in this way, right? Some of them are just 18 years old. And then there's also plastic surgeons in China that have gone on record saying that they now turn away teenage patients who use filters, and in these filters that again, now with AI, it's just like crazy. You can have no makeup on and it will present you with this perfect makeup look. And it's just like, it looks insane. So these people are getting like this psychological shift now, right? So I think the fundamental question isn't that the filters are changing the way people behave or see themselves, but I think more interestingly is why millions of people suddenly arrived at the same conclusion that this look is the standard look. Because China didn't always look like this. There's actually a drawing of the distinct difference online, comparing a Korean girl, a Japanese girl, and a Chinese girl. And even in those illustrations, you can see that the Chinese girl has this internet famous face too. Like, that's how deep the template is burrowed into how people visualize Chinese beauty now. It's to the point where people can like tell that this is Chinese, But going back to the 80s, like beauty back then was so different. You had strong distinct features, you have wider faces, sharper cheekbones, and you have the looks that kind of isn't manufactured. In the 1990s, Hong Kong flooded, the culture of Hong Kong cinema flooded into Chinese households in the mainland, and then you have a lot of different changes. You had international Asian actresses, and you had people who defined the era. But then back, even, I think plastic surgeries, as we know, have been around for more than few decades. Like, even back then, people still looked like themselves. Nobody was chasing this identical template yet. But as the society in China becomes increasingly competitive and resources are waning, the reduction of success, or what is the formula for success, is narrowed. I think now, I've been quite nice to the population, but let's call a spade here. Like, the beauty standard in China is not natural, right? Like, have you seen the Zara ad a few years back? Zara ran a campaign which featured Chinese models with visible freckles, natural skin textures, smaller eyes, and compared to the internet beauty standard. And then audience outside of China largely read this campaign as a refreshing break from the usual airbrushed casting. But then on Chinese internet, people read it as offensive, like literally accusing Zara of deliberately picking someone who is considered unattractive to represent Chinese women. Same thing happened with the American Vogue, ran Chinese models whose faces didn't match the beauty standard. And then in both cases, people were just angry because they thought that, like, they were literally offended because they think that, this is wrong to represent China that way, which tells you the opposite is true, right? In China, there's still a large portion of people, even though they might say that they don't like the internet face, they might still go and watch it. So that just tells you this beauty standard is backed by an audience and a huge number of followings too. And this thing has evolved. 10 years ago, the look was more like a mix of natural and artificial features, and then it was something called the snake face and fox eyes, and then what people call the infant face, and then there's high-level face now, and then there's, people call this the AI face. It's just too perfect. So these specific trend changes every few years, but what never changes is the competition underneath, right? And so that tells you something very important, because the people chasing this look, they aren't necessarily only chasing the value of the beauty, but they're chasing whatever it happens to bring them success, or what happens at that particular moment. And sure, the shock and the reaction are from some people, but most of it seems to be viewed as positive. I mean, otherwise, this would have died off. For a while, I wondered whether all of this was just, it's a story about women and like somehow about sexism, but it's really not. Male beauty standards here have also shifted in China, just as dramatically, right? The latest one is called 小鲜肉, literally translates to little fresh meat, which is a bunch of these like very young celebs with flawless skin, small tight face, again, very angular chins and jawlines, and they almost look animated, right? This became the new standard in entertainment, and it brought about the huge fan culture, like the idol look. So eventually the CCP in 2021 said that they basically criticized this aesthetic, the little fresh meat one, and they called for more traditionally masculine role models in entertainment. But whatever the result of it is, because this again didn't really do anything, it seems like it actually exacerbated the look, because this year one of the TV drama which I covered previously was called Pursuit of Jade, and the main character was known as this sort of a powder-faced, good-looking general, and it, according to the Chinese internet, felt like he focused more on applying makeup foundation than actually wielding a spear. There hasn't been sort of an official campaign to target women's internet famous face, just men, which I don't know, maybe is not as threatening. But like with the men, like the state media literally went full force scalding the look. But I guess fundamentally it is about audience capture, right? Like the reason men look like this is because the women who pay for it want it that way. The women look like AI ghouls because that's what the men wants, right? It's a big question mark on that one, because is that really the best look? But it goes both ways, because the more people you have who want something, the more people find it useful, necessary to get it. Influencers obviously see the followers, the brand deals, spot at maybe an influencer academy, or starting their own influencer academies, live streaming contracts. It boils down to just better prospects in life, and that's really it. I think the problem here is that beauty didn't disappear as a concept. It just became measurable, because sometimes you can track that the same way you can track a salary or a test score, because anything that brings you success in China can be optimized to bring you more, and people start to flock to that. And it just turns out the Chinese society is at a point where live streaming is like the quickest and fastest way to make money, because you can't really find a traditional job. And if it means people getting surgery, well, so be it. One good example is there was a case of a streamer singing in front of a train station after he went viral. So many people started to go into the front of that train station, trying to live stream, trying to chase the spot that would make them money, go viral. And so my answer is, like, the Communist Party didn't invent this look, right? They didn't set the beauty standard, but they did help build this wave of the trend of the society where chasing the winning formula, whatever the formula might be, at the moment increasingly becomes the rational move rather than the desperate one. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed the content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.